you're stressed about back taxes, maybe you missed the April deadline, or your books are a mess, well, you definitely don't want to wait. The IRS is cracking down with penalties that add up fast. We're talking 5% per month up to 25% just for not filing. The good news is there's help. Tax Network USA can take the burden off of your shoulders and stop the spiral before it gets worse. They've helped thousands of Americans, whether you're an employee, a small business owner, or if you haven't filed in years. If you've got messy books, none of that is the problem. They've seen it all, and they know exactly how to clean it up. With direct access to powerful programs and expert negotiators on their side, Tax Network USA knows how to win. You'll get a free consultation, and if you qualify, they may even be able to reduce or eliminate what you owe. More importantly, they'll help protect you from wage garnishments or bank levies. So don't wait for the next IRS letter. Instead, call 800-905-8000 or visit tnusa.com/RAV to talk to a real expert at Tax Network USA. Take the pressure off and let Tax Network USA handle your tax issues for you. Welcome back to this Real America's Voice Newsbreak. I'm Terrence Bates. Another day in the same old government shutdown. While the government is shut down and there doesn't appear to be any indication that a compromise to reopen it is pending, Speaker Mike Johnson has taken the microphone before reporters every single day to blast Senate Democrats and Democrat leaders in both the House and the Senate. Today, no different.
I've been asked many times in interviews over the last couple of days, you seem angry. You don't get angry a lot. I don't, but this is beyond the pale. What Chuck Schumer's doing right now, it's sickening. It's sickening to hear him say it's better for him and his party when it's so terrible for real Americans. Millions of people are experiencing real pain because of these political games.
And in other headlines, New York Attorney General Letitia James is on the wrong side of the law this morning after being indicted on mortgage fraud charges. A grand jury found there's enough evidence to be prosecuted on 2 felony charges, one for making false statements to a financial institution, the second for bank fraud. That's a check of your headlines.
American made. And darn proud of it. The Charlie Kirk Show.
Welcome back. We're doing our whole hour AMA. We somewhat messed up. We thought we were going to go through the break. Timing. Sorry about that, Chris. If you're still there, we hope you are. But we'll reread Chris's question and start the answer. So Chris asked, many believers in my church now agree that the church has become too comfortable and risk-averse. What is the first practical step pastors or lay people can take to move from passive faith to active conviction in their communities? And Mikey's the son of a pastor. He's got the best take on that.
The son of a pastor. Same. So my dad, he was a pastor in California. During the COVID lockdowns, he kept his church open. Despite he was the mayor of the city at the time, and despite facing jail time and penalties and congregants getting fines and them getting cited, crazy things. He kept his church open, and it was one of the biggest stories at the time, because in California you could have strip clubs open and marijuana dispensaries, but churches couldn't worship. And so that is kind of the moving point for my dad and TPUSA faith and a lot of pastors who saw that and said, something doesn't feel right here. And so James 1:22 is be doers of the word, not just hearers. And so for a lot of pastors, I would just encourage them to, if it feels wrong, dig into it a little bit. You have a choice to make, not just for yourself, for your congregation and those that you're shepherding as a flock in a community. And every choice that you make makes an imprint on your character, and character comes from the Greek word, which means to etch deeply onto something, or to tattoo. And so every choice that you make makes a mark on your character. What kind of character do you want? And so a lot of people will say, they'll cite Romans 13, which is, honor those in authority, the elected officials. So they said, the elected officials told me to shut down my church during COVID, or the elected officials told me that there's separation of church and state. I shouldn't have to talk about this from the pulpit. Well, one of the most important things that you have to think about is, who are those in authority in this country? And that was written with kings in authority and monarchs in authority. And today, those in authority in our country are the people. And so we have a responsibility to our nation and to our God to uphold liberty, which is a value of Christianity and God. And pastors have the same thing. So if you're the member of a church, you should go straight to your pastor and challenge him. That's what I do. That's what my dad does. And I don't know, Blake, Danny, do you guys have anything to add on this? This gets me all riled up.
I am a Catholic, so I have a little slightly different thing. We're like a very hierarchical thing, which has, you know, a leader who's been saying some very interesting things the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, I think that they just need to stop apologizing for the truth and live it out publicly.
That's great, Danny. Yeah, don't apologize for the truth. Double down, triple down. Chris, does that answer your question? Do you have any follow-ups? Okay, thank you so much, Chris. What's our next question?
Our next question, we have Isabel there. So, Isabel, unmute yourself. Thank you for being a member. What's your question? You there, Isabel? Unmute yourself.
Got you.
Oh, okay. So let's read it. We have her text. So, Isabel wrote us, what do you suggest for someone wanting to get involved with TPUSA who does not have a degree, is not in college, but is still about collegiate age and wanting to maybe work there or just be part of the movement? Is there a space for young adults not in college? Now, I think I may have seen an email from Isabel. So thank you again for reaching out. I think it would be very shameful if we did not have a way for people who did not go to college to get involved, given what Charlie repeatedly said about college. First of all, in most cases, if there's a chapter in your area...
Danny was a chapter president.
Yeah, we had people all the time that were college age that didn't go to the university but still came to events, meetings, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's possible your school might have some rules around that, but they're probably not going to be super strict about it.
I don't think they'll be strict at all.
They won't even know.
Yeah, and we also have our Student Action Summit, which is literally just for young people. You don't have to be in college. You don't have to be in high school.
Don't have to be a student.
You don't even have to be a student.
It's really just the Action Summit.
Maybe we should just label it to Young People Action Summit.
Super Action Summit.
Yeah. Well, we'll make it happen. But start by coming to AmFest. That's what I keep telling people. But Isabel, we want to get you to AmFest, so let's do what we need to do to get you there. And we'll go into our next question, which is Jimmy.
All righty.
Jimmy, do we have you?
Are you there? Unmute yourself. Oh, we got it. All right.
We're gonna read
it again. We got another one. Okay.
Yeah,
oh, we got you. We got Jimmy. Jimmy, excellent. Jimmy, thank you again.
I posted a couple of questions, so I'm trying to figure out which was the most important. But do I only have time for one?
Let's just shoot one. If we have more time, we'll see.
Okay. Let's see. I think I'll take the one that's probably more. Well, both are relevant. But so Charlie's approach. What is Charlie's approach and your team's approach to what I see as a growing kind of a resistance or a growing opposition to the people of Israel or the nation of Israel, and which I think of it as a spiritual issue that's growing. I see it in the conservative movement, and I think people in the church who are part of the church in different faiths are going to need good voices, strong voices to help people to understand what to think about this, because Israel has, if you look at the Bible, Israel has an important position with God and in history, both past and in future. So I understand the need to reform, like you were talking about earlier, not to have money coming into our government. I understand the need to reform the thing, countries can reform, but this goes a little bit deeper where it's like this kind of rejection to Israel as the people of God. So I want to know how you guys approach that and help us to, how to think about it.
Yeah, thank you again. Thank you again. We've talked about that a bit this week. It's come up, and I can say I spoke with Charlie a lot about this issue. He had me do a lot of research about this issue. He cared a lot about it, and he saw it was really something that had been bubbling up a lot over these past few years. And it is something that is in a lot of ways out of proportion to what you'd normally expect a foreign policy thing to be. And it's done that for a variety of reasons. It, of course, has happened for religious reasons. Obviously, there are Jewish Americans who care a lot. There are Christian Americans who believe there is, a biblical commitment to present-day Israel. But it's also even the left cares more about it. It's sort of, the issue has become a symbolic one, where how you feel about it it's sort of representative of how you feel about a lot of different issues. And that's, I think, why Charlie, he noticed there was this bubbling up of anti-Israel and often anti-Semitic sentiment among young people on the left and on the right. And I think he thought about it a lot because he could see this would sometimes be related to this sort of like generalized third world mindset spreading in America, that if like they can convince you that, oh, like Israel shouldn't exist because they're a colonizer country or something, that if they can convince you of that, they can kind of convince you that America shouldn't exist, because America also began as, people settling a land they were not from. Charlie had complicated thoughts on it. We've seen it with letters and so forth. He wrote that letter to Netanyahu. He saw that there was a lot of sentiment on this. He wanted to bridge the gap. He wanted to move towards a productive relationship between our two countries. And he cared about the Holy Land remaining a safe place for Christians. I think that was his biggest guiding star, that he went to Israel once. He went to the lands that Jesus preached in and lived in, and it was deeply moving for him. And he thought it would be terrible if that ended up being a place ruled by ISIS or radical Islamists who might, blow up Christ's tomb, bulldoze all the places that Christ ministered to, make it so Christians could not go there. And he cared a lot about keeping that from happening. And he cared a lot about just not having us, he also just didn't want us to align with radical Islamism. And those were kind of Charlie's guiding posts on that issue, I believe.
Yeah. I've never been to Israel. Charlie often talked about how he loved it and loved the Holy Land and wanted to protect it. And he would say that the arguments to protect the Holy Land and keep it sacred and protect it and accessible are most important. I've never been, so I maybe one day I'll go. I don't know, but yeah, that was kind of his stance. Blake, you hit the nail on the head. But yeah, we can jump to our next question. Thank you so much. Our next one is Michonne. Michonne, do we have you?
Unmute yourself, Michonne.
Michonne.
I'm unmuted.
There we go. There we go.
Hey, hi guys.
Hi, Michonne. How are you?
I'm doing good. You did a good job saying my name. I'm proud of that, because most people call.
Amazing.
But Charlie, I've been on before, and the first time I told him my name, he got it right away, and
That's
he never.
Amazing. Charlie was bad at names. He was very bad at them. So you were very fortunate that he nailed it.
Yeah, because the second time I called in, he didn't even have to ask how to pronounce it. He knew it. He just.
Wow. He does have a good memory.
He did.
He remembered
every detail.
So, yeah, well, God bless you guys. Love you guys. Praying continually every day for all of you, and of course all of the Kirk family. And I know we'll be in a lot of sorrow for a long time, but I just am grateful you guys are lifting up Charlie's voice, his name, his legacy every single day. And please don't ever stop doing that. But my question to you guys has a little bit to do with the American halftime show. That idea that you guys are coming up with, I think, is a wonderful idea. I don't know if it'll come to fruition. I'm hoping it will. But you guys had put out a feeler for suggestions, like what would you like to see in your survey, whether it be worship music, rock and roll, jazz, whatever. And I did take that survey, and I did select worship. And there's a wonderful Christian artist by the name of Kim Walker-Smith. Have any of you ever heard of her?
Yeah, she's great. She actually performed at America Fest, I want to say last year or 2 years ago, but she's spectacular. And I think we might have her back at AmFest this year. But yeah, she's incredible. Yeah, and I didn't see that email, but I will say this, Michonne, a little insider scoop here for you. In first place on people who want the genre of music they want to hear, first place we have worship.
Woo!
Second place we have country. Third place we have classic rock. And then we have anything in English.
Yeah, that should be a given. Right.
And then we have Americana, and then it goes pop, and then hip hop's in last place. So
Yeah.
What?
Well,
Was
I'm
that-
glad worship is on the top.
we did it, Michonne. We got worship to the top. Kim Walker Smith's excellent. We're going
Have
to
you
try to
ever
get her
heard
involved.
Yeah, have you heard her song that she came out with during 2020 Trump's election? It was called "Worth the Fight."
Yes, that's a great song. She's amazing.
It's encouraging and encourages a lot
Sorry
of people
there.
to get
We'll go through this break, but we have to hit this. We have Tax Network USA. The government needs more money. Your money. If you owe the IRS back taxes, they can garnish your wages and levy your bank accounts. Not very fun. They can even seize your retirement or take your home. Don't let the IRS target you. Call the professionals at Tax Network USA. Their tax lawyers and enrolled agents are experts in powerful programs that may even help you eliminate your tax debt. Tax Network USA is A+ rated and has saved over $1 billion for their clients. Whether you owe a few thousand or a few million, they can help you. In just one phone call, you can start the process of stopping the threatening demand letters, stopping the aggressive collections, and resolving your tax matters once and for all. But you have to act now while you still have options. For a free consultation, call Tax Network USA today at 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com. Let's just keep going through the break.
All right, Michonne.
Yes.
We were talking about worship. Kim Walker Smith. I have heard that song. It's excellent. Kim
Yes.
Walker Smith is excellent, and we're very grateful for you and participating. We're gonna get some big voices, big names there. I know that we had a great conversation yesterday with Corey Asbury, and hopefully we're gonna see a partnership there soon with some other big names in the worship industry. But thank you so much, Michonne, for calling in.
You bet.
All right.
All righty. And now I think let's go to Jennifer. Are you there, Jennifer? Unmute yourself. And what's your question?
Hello.
Hello.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Excellent. I mean, it's bittersweet. I joined the Charlie Kirk show, became a member right after the Turning Point event in Tampa. So fairly recent. And we took our 11-year-old daughter. So she's not quite old enough yet, but she grew up listening to him. So I thank you. I mean, it's just, we were heartbroken, that day, but but one of my questions, and I actually have been trying to join for like the last month. And so I'm so bummed that, but I'm here now. And I wanted to ask, Turning Point's thoughts about calling out more of the economic power of conservatives and Christians along the lines of like partnering with, Robbie Starbuck or the PublicSq company, which is out of West Palm here in Florida. And, really praying to see more conservatives and importantly, Christians that, will steward their financial blessings more according to God's will and for his glory. Really funding is really kind of fuels one or the other. And I was just curious as like Turning Point's take on sort of championing that message.
Thank you, Jennifer, again. We're always all in on, we're very enthusiastic when conservatives realize they have economic power. There are, 80 million Trump voters out there. There are over 100 million Christians in the United States. They have the power to do it. Now, what we have to acknowledge is it's a lot of people. They're sometimes a little difficult to direct. And, it was so funny when we had, for example, the big boycott against Bud Light. I've been through
another one.
Or Target. I've been through so many. Again, I'm older than you guys. I've been through a lot of attempted boycotts. And, some of them, it really seems like they should have been, very straightforward, vaporize them. But the one that worked, for example, was Bud Light. And it was almost it was like all the stars aligned perfectly because it was a product that was very ubiquitous. And it was something you consumed publicly, so it was easy to socially bully people into doing it. Whereas a lot of products you just own personally, and it's more on you. Yeah. And so it's not always easy to tell what will take off and what won't. So what I would always say is, if we can do it, I'm very much in favor of it. And we've had on the PublicSq guys before on this show. We've profiled a lot of those. We've had Robbie Starbuck on the show. We've talked about a lot of these boycott instances, and we'll be welcoming radio back here in a bit, but we'll just continue on this topic, I think.
Yeah.
Welcome back to radio. We were answering a question from Jennifer in the break. She was asking if there was a way we could get more out of the economic power of conservatives in the U.S., whether it's boycotts or just putting pressure on companies with their financial resources. And we were saying, yes, it is difficult, though. It is difficult to organize.
We're pretty good at doing it, though.
We are. We're getting better. We're getting better, and I think that is what matters. And it helps. Also, if you're going to boycott someone, it can't hurt to, if you're going to do it, make sure you also send them an email, send them a message, send them a tweet.
Exactly.
Post on their Instagram or something. Do something to make it clear why you are doing something, that you are motivated by something. Because companies have a lot of sort of neurotic people who run their marketing departments, and if they see a few angry emails, they can freak out. And that can have more power than just using your pocketbook.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer. Our next question is Donna. Donna, do we have you?
Donna, unmute yourself.
Are you unmuted?
It's all right. It's all right. Let's
We'll
read it. Donna.
Okay.
We got her.
We got Donna.
Her. Welcome, Donna.
Hi, Donna.
Hi.
Amazing. What's your question?
I'm in Maine. I'm 62.
Charlie was in Maine in August. He loved it.
Yeah.
I know, and I just missed him.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to come to Maine to do any event in the near future, or is everything going to stay out west?
Well, I know that Charlie's whole thing is he didn't want mission creep. So he wanted to focus on what worked, and then he would just focus his energy on turning one of his passions was to turn Arizona into the Florida of the West. So he would always have people asking him, Charlie, can you come to California? Can Turning Point Action do to California what they did in Arizona or Maine? And so Charlie and I were literally in Maine for a whole month and a week together. And we traveled the whole state. We got to know thousands of different people. And there's a great group called Maine Civic Action. And I know that they're doing a lot of work. It's backed by a very big donor. And they're planning to do some very, very big and important work in the coming year and a half here. So although we do not have a big presence in Maine, I know that there is groups that do have a big presence in Maine. Charlie spoke at their event, Maine Civic Action, and I'll tell you this, Mainers, they're fired up. I can tell by just talking to you, Donna, you guys are fired up. And you're talking to the lobstermen and these are hard working class voters. And I think there's a bigger silent majority, but Maine needs to watch out for these third worlders coming in.
Oh yeah. Haiti.
Yes.
It's really
Somalia.
sinister what they do. They do deliberately settle a lot of some of the most challenging to integrate migrants in, random heartland parts of the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking to some police there in Portland,
That's
Maine,
right.
and they were just telling us these crazy stories about how they're being overrun. You got hotels with 20 illegals all in one hotel room.
This police officer told us a story about how in Portland he gets a domestic violence call. And when he shows up to the house, he comes in and it's 32 Somalian men just beating up a woman. And he had to get in there, and it's just, he's like, I don't even.
Did he apologize because he was intruding on their culture?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Portland is really going downhill. It's awful.
Yeah. And the mayor of South Portland was no bueno.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it's getting bad. A lot of people think Maine is the quiet state tucked into the northeast, but it's like, because there's not much seen in Bangor, but it's like, you guys would be surprised what's going on right under your nose.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Well, I do see in your written out question, you also were asking if AmFest is in Arizona. It is in Arizona.
It is in Arizona.
Every year, the weekend before Christmas, every year, always in that window, same time, same place.
Yeah.
You know, you can book it out 5 years in advance if you need to, but
Yep.
we're always happy. We're now in. Charlie would always start ramping up the AmFest sales right around now.
Get yourself a nice Christmas gift, Donna. Come to AmFest, celebrate in Arizona. There's a lot to celebrate. It's just a big celebration
I
of
remember
America.
the first AmFest I went to 3 years ago. I wasn't really on, Turning Point wasn't on my radar, and I showed up, and my eyes popped out of my sockets.
If you guys want to be involved in calls like this, go to members.charliekirk.com. We want to get you involved. That's members.charliekirk.com. We want to answer a call from you. Go to the website. We'll see you guys momentarily. Thanks so much.